Hi, Logan. It's Mrs. Jansen, and we are about ready to start a new project today. We are going to be working on a warm and cool color landscape. What you're going to need for this project today is the sheet of paper, the black sheet of paper that was sent home that has texture on it. You're going to need the pastels that were sent home in a bag as well. Yours are thicker than mine. And you will want probably a paper towel so you can use it to smear things and to wipe your finger. Okay, so today, before we can start dividing up our paper into a landscape, you can see this example that I have from Mr. Warner. This landscape is very abstract. Abstract means that it doesn't show any particular detail to make it look like real life. But if we look at it, we can imagine that these could be hills in the background, and then we have some fields, and then some more hills up front. And in the background, behind what appears to be hills, we can see what we could imagine as an abstracted sun. It doesn't look exactly like a real life sun, but it is reminding us of what the sun looks like in the coloring and it radiating out in these rings of warm colors. So we're going to work on that today. But before we can start dividing up our paper into a landscape that's abstract like this, we need to talk about warm and cool colors. So the color wheel divides up the secondary and primary colors into two sections. And if you look on the right, you can see our warm colors in this color wheel where we have our yellow, orange, and red. And then on the other side, on the left side, we have our purple, blue, and green. And those are our cool colors. The color wheel shows you how these colors are related to one another and how when you put cool colors together, they look good together. And when you put warm colors together, they look good together as well. And you can see in this student work examples, similar to what we're going to do, the use of cool colors together and warm colors together. So we are going to choose to make one part of our drawing with cool colors and one part with the warm colors. So because we're dividing up our drawing into these sections of a landscape and then division, either you can make this moon or you could make it sun. So you could choose to do your cool colors up on top, use a white for the center for the moon and have blues and purples going out to make it look like a night sky. Or you can do it with the warm colors on the top like we have here. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I would like you to pull out your colors, all of them that are cool. So that would be your blue, your purple, and your green, the darker green. And then for your warm colors, I want you to pull out your orange, one or two of your reds, your yellows. I have slightly different colors than you do. My chalk pastels are a little bit thinner, but they work the same. So what we want to do first is, and I think you need to decide whether you're going to do your warm colors below or above. And I think I'm going to do my warm colors up on top. So that means that my lower landscape will be with the cool colors, the green, blue, and purple. And we are going to put in the land first and the sky second. So depending on whether you're using warm or cool colors, we're going to start with our land first. So I'm going to go ahead and mark, I'm going to put in a rolling hill in this corner, and you can kind of just watch me. I'm going to use my green to outline it. And again, we're dividing up our paper into really simple lines. So I'm going to put a horizon line in here because this will be more of my sky. But I'm going to divide up this midsection so it kind of looks like a field. And then I'm going to put mountainous hills in the front. Okay. So I want you to take a few moments and kind of divide up your paper. So again, this is to see how Mr. Warner has it. He ends up having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces for the bottom. We'll count mine. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but I've divided this up into quite a few more areas. But what I think I will do for this is he uses all different cool colors, all different greens and blues. And so when you pull out all of yours, each one we want to be mostly a different color. He has a couple that are repeated. So I'm going to get started. We're going to leave the top alone. And I'm going to take my cool colors and I'm going to use them on their side. And I'm going to fill in the space. Now it's going to become important because we want to have these dark black lines in between. So when I put in my next one, which is going to be another kind of blue, I'm going to leave a little bit of space between mine. We can fill that in with black. Your paper is actually black, so that'll be helpful. Mine is brown, so I'll have to work a little bit differently, a little harder. And now you can see I took my finger and I blended this. We will be blending all of our colors. This chalk did not break up into as much dust, so I didn't blend it yet. So I've got my blues, and I'm going to, like I said, kind of leave a little space, and I'm going to, on my field, this field that I have in front of the mountains, I'm going to do every other one so that we can tell this is all part of the same field. My finger is so dark because that's such a dark blue. I am going to wipe it down a little bit because I don't want to get that on some of my other areas. I'm going to take my purple and I'm going to use it on its side and fill in the first hill. And you can really see how bright it is and how it kind of pops. Just really nice and bright. I'm going to blend that in. I'm liking that a lot. That's nice. And I'm going to go ahead and make, well, maybe I don't want to make, I think I'm going to make this hill right here purple instead. is you want your cool colors, even if they repeat, to not be right next to each other. And again, I'm going to blend those in, and I'll use my fingers. And that's nice, and I think I'll use that one over here. So that's a really vibrant, light blue. Kind of a blue-green. And I'm going to do my last hill in the green that I traced everything in. I'm adding just a little bit of this blue to it. So there you have our hills. I think I am going to blend. I wasn't necessarily going to blend these, but I think I will. Okay, so you can see my fingers are very dirty. I'm going to wipe those down on my paper towel. And we're going to be putting black lines in between here in a little bit, and then we're going to put highlights in it. But first we'll do our warm colors on the top. So you're going to start with a circle. Either that's going to be, like I said, that's either going to be the moon or it's going to be the sun. And I'm going to divide up the space in the sky. You can see all the areas that I will color in. You can see the two different, the darker yellow and the medium yellow. The reason why we play with a warm and cool color palette, that means a set of colors that we're using exclusively. So we have our warm color palette at the top and our cool color palette at the bottom, is because these colors, the warm and the cool, when they're next to each other on the color wheel, that usually means that they're going to look really nice together. So it creates a contrast of these of these two different color schemes. Now, what I'm doing right now is I've gotten my black, and I'm going ahead and just tracing the outline of my hills. So you can see we've got our black in between these. So we're just going to trace those. I'm going to also do that between the warm colors on top. I can run my finger down the edge to smooth them out. So going around you want to just be careful because you don't want to smear that black into a lot of your color, because that will take away, it'll blend in and kind of make it muddy. So as you can see, once you have that black in between, really makes your colors stand out. You can also see all of my fingerprints on the purple with the other color chalk that I had on my fingers. Logan, the last thing that we want to do is to take a white chalk or a really light colored chalk, and we want to put some highlights where the light source would be shining on our hills and maybe on part of our landscape. So I've got my sun here, so I'm going to put a white highlight on my mountain. You could also use a nice pale yellow. I'm just going to blend that just a little bit. Not too much because I don't want it to get all dirty. We're also going to put it on this hill because it would be hitting this one as well. I'm going to blend that a little bit and just a touch on this one. And because we have a valley here that's coming through, I'm going to put some highlights in my little land, like that. Maybe pull that to the edge, pull that out, and then just maybe a hint here. Maybe just a little bit here. All right. So there you have it. You have the highlights on our landscape for a finished piece. The last thing I would like you to do, Logan, is put your name in the bottom corner. If you send this back to school, we will spray it with a clear acrylic so it won't smear at all. And then you'll be able to hang it up and it will look really nice in your house. So here you have it. This is our warm on the top, cool on the bottom. That's how I did it. You might have done yours in reverse. This is our warm and cool color landscape pastel drawing. So I hope you had fun. Please post this on Seesaw. I look forward to seeing your work and have a great week.